What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I have survived my sickness. Unfortunately, did have COVID, but looks like we're coming out of the tail end of that. Knocked me out from streaming for the past week, just kind of kept it easy. But unfortunately, to the haters, we have defeated COVID and we will be back to streaming best ball. Once my screen shares, that is. Hashtag never easy. All right. So, yeah, let's just jump into it. Let's just win the big board today. 250K up top. Let's take it down. That's the goal. What's up? What's up? What is up? Good vibes here. Yes, the rumors are true. I had COVID, but went on spring break is what it is. We're back now. Feeling better. So, as far as NFL news goes, it's been sparse. We are officially in April. No April Fool's things here. Just keeping it straight business. The coaches meeting is happening right now. It's where all the coaches get together. There's been a couple rule changes proposed and a couple rule changes enforced. Don't think it matters much for us. The big one, the tush push, was denied. Honestly, I don't see why there's an obsession with the tush push. It's not like they wouldn't be good at quarterback sneaking without the tush push. If it was just a regular quarterback sneak, guess what? They're still going to be good at that. J.K. Dobbins is yet to sign with the team. I went ahead and looked it up last year. Last year, J.K. Dobbins signed on April 18th. So, obviously, he's free falling in drafts. He's all the way down at an ADP of 137. That is after guys like Tank Bigsby, Zach Charbonnet, Travis Etienne, still holding ahead of the Tajay Spears just barely, the Trey Bensons just barely. I mean, people have lost their minds with this Javonte Williams ADP. Now, he opened up in this range. The Brian Robinson, the Andre Swifts, the Charbonnets, the Pachecos, the Ramondres. I mean, the truth is that starting at, I think you could argue, Kyron Williams, all of these running backs have risk, right? Alvin Kamara, old. Ken Walker, Zach Charbonnet. Chuba Hubbard, Rico Dowdle. Joe Mixon, old, and could draft a running back, right? Omario Hampton, maybe he goes in the third round, right? I've seen some people hate on him recently. Alvin Kamara, old, could draft Gene T, right? Najee Harris, terrible. James Conner, Trey Benson. Caleb Johnson, what if he goes in the third round? Tyron Tracy could be a new running back. Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason. Jalen Warren, what if they draft someone? Tony Pollard, what if they draft someone / Tajay Spears? Ramondre, what if they draft someone hasn't been good? Travis Etienne, seriously, what was last year? Seriously. Pacheco, hurt, blah, blah, blah. So, the point is all these running backs have varying degrees of risk. People are asking, do I think Williams is too high or too low? I mean, almost assuredly too high. Maybe not in a production sense, but just think about it, guys, right? Like, this guy was free all of this contest. Literally, you could get him, don't gotta take my word for it. Let's just look. This is my 77th big board. Let's look at some early big boards and let's see where Javonte Williams went. So this is 128. Didn't name a lot of them. Don't have to scroll far here, but I can almost guarantee he was nearly free. And honestly, I don't. Okay, he went 193 here on 128. And my guess is what happened to him is like people got bored of him and just stopped clicking him. So I guarantee he went undrafted in some. 187 to myself here. Hashtag value hound. Let's see. Puka, AJ Brown, James Cook, Jameson, Devontae, Travion, Tracy, Pearsall, who's gone way up in price. David Njoku, Marvin Mims, Dalton Kincaid, Anthony Richardson and Cam Ward, Cedric Tillman, Sam Darnold, Javonte, Lloyd, Gibson, ETN. I mean, maybe Williams returns value in a universe where the Cowboys don't draft anyone, but that seems very unlikely. And in the contest where he was pretty much free, I don't see really the reason to take him instead of just taking someone else, right? He's been terrible pretty much his whole career. Yes, injuries is a big part of the reason why, but like, what are we even hoping for? Man saw 139 attempts last year, 500 yards. He did have 52 catches. Career high, it looks like. Yeah, I don't know what the dream is. I guess the dream is that they draft no one, but that doesn't seem likely to me. He is a good pass protector, so like that should get him on the field. Isn't Dobbins an injury-prone handcuff at best at this point? Maybe. What if he signs back with the Chargers and the Chargers are over Najee Harris's like 3.3 yards in a cloud of dust, and he's just the RB1 there again? I get the sentiment that there's not a lot of starting running back jobs out there, but I don't know. CMC goes down in training camp. J.K. Dobbins with the 49ers. I would guess 0, Chad. And I don't understand why you're even asking about it because, I mean, if you want a cumulative scoring best ball contest, go play on drafters, play the marathon. Like, there's no shortage of these contests. I don't think we need more. They're typically not as popular. Hell yeah. Chad is a sick name. Puka, welcome. Yeah, I mean, if Devontae Adams is going to cause Puka to fall, just close your eyes and click that. We're getting the same price as last year. I mean, I don't know. I would view Javonte not too far from Zeke if they didn't draft anyone. And that just seems like painful wish casting to me for a player who, again, I don't know what you're dreaming of. Like, what's the dream of upside? Is the dream that 6 points hit your lineup? We need to dream higher if that's our dream, right? Is the dream 300 points? We need to be more realistic if that's our dream. So, I don't know. I just don't see a case where Javonte is winning us much of anything. Wow. Puka and Nico, honestly, my initial run of rankings, not looking at anything, had these two dudes as like 3rd and 4th overall, where I went some order of Chase, Jefferson, Puka, Nico. Because again, I think people learn the wrong lesson where they think the key to fantasy is just to draft running back early, where no, true wide receiver ones are far more impactful than RB ones, because you have to start 3 a week, and that is wide receiver. And it's harder to find replaceable scoring there. And just getting 2 studs who are going to hit your lineup almost every week is just like pretty much a cheat code. I get it though. CMC, I've certainly done some GT CMC starts. How could you not? But yeah, if you're going to give me Puka and Nico, this is why I think the back half just feels really, really strong this year. Feels much stronger than the front half because, yeah, man, hey, it's in the title. Feels much stronger in the front half because, like T. Higgins, you're like, sure. DJ Moore, okay. Terry, fine. Right? Brees, Garrett Wilson, sure. Right? But the second round, the top of second, no shortage of fun clicks. Brock Bowers, GT, CMC, Ladd, Achan, Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra in this draft. This guy reached on Bucky to get unique. Josh, JT, Tyreek. So, yeah, I don't know. The sum of the parts just feels a lot better at the back half. Sounds crazy, but doing something like this will be so much more unique than GT plus CMC. I'm very high on Achan still. The market is not as much. Afternoon. If you missed the beginning, haven't been streaming because I had COVID, but we beat it. Absolutely no one said happy to hear that. We just got right into football. Hard for me to take CMC over the wide receivers down to Ladd McConkey. Yeah, and I have an article. It's going to come out this week probably about the riskiest players in fantasy and how we should play it. CMC obviously is on that list. And my recommendation there would be, I get why someone would say that, right? Man, just not really a Brees guy. Brees is going to be falling in the market too after the coaches meeting. Let's do Josh. Why not? Haven't taken Josh Allen hardly at all. I don't know. I don't know what I wanted to do there. But yeah, I get why someone would say they don't want to take CMC, because what they're talking about is that he feels incredibly unlikely to play 17 games. He feels incredibly risky. And yeah, he is risky. Guess who else is risky? Derrick Henry, right? Like, people don't want to hear it, but no, at your age, you are risky. So is Tyreek Hill. These guys are risky, right? But we also know they could be literally the best players in fantasy this year. Just like Saquon last year, he was risky, right? Was there some context that maybe he was a little less risky than people thought? Of course there was, but he was coming off a very inefficient season. He was young, so like he didn't really have the same concerns as these guys. Didn't have the same injury concerns, but yeah, and basically safety doesn't win you contests. Let's do JMO. I love JMO. Safety doesn't win you the contest necessarily, right? So my recommendation there would be take CMC somewhat and just pile on a bunch of other risk, right? It's hard to win these things anyways. So take CMC, and then, I don't know, maybe you're not into Mike Evans because he's old too. Take him as well, right? Just pile on all the risk on the same team. Hope you're super, if you're going to be wrong, you're super wrong, and you can win the contest that way. But I get it. I have the same uneasiness about CMC. Just got to take him somewhat, right? I quite like the bet on Marvin Harrison Jr. I get why others don't. But yeah, still seems super talented. Still seems like he has a very high weekly ceiling. It's all it really takes for me. I do agree that Mason leaving is somewhat of a data point in CMC's camp. Because initially, when they tagged Mason, I was like, "Oh, this is bad for CMC, right?" If they're so concerned that they're going to be playing Mason, they're going to be playing Garendo, they're going to be playing CMC, like this is bad. But that they traded him, that is a little bit of a data point that maybe they're not so worried about CMC. I don't agree that Mason is necessarily a world beater talent over Isaac Garendo. Again, Isaac Garendo is a 10.0 RAS guy. So he seems pretty talented to me. Everyone says the Niners are drafting a back. They draft a back every year. Half the backs are Tyrion Davis-Price, right? But yeah. I mean, this is not how I would want to play CMC at the 105, just because I don't have to, right? Like, I'd rather play him and pair him with one, like, Puka CMC, you can do that. Amon-Ra CMC, you can do that. You could literally maybe pair the wide receiver one and RB1, and you could also maybe pair the RB1 and RB2 if you go Achane CMC, CMC Gene T, CMC Henry, whatever. I wouldn't be assuming Neighbors quarterback is Russell Wilson the whole year. We still need the draft to play out for a lot of this stuff, right? The 49ers could draft Gene T. That'd be terrible for CMC. The Giants could draft Shadur. Wow. Rashee Rice, by the way, perfect guy that's super risky, but you just got to plug your nose and do it sometimes. Right? So it's like, sometimes you hate baking in the risk when you feel like you have a nutted start. But pick 58, just gotta do it. Wow, that's a steal. I mean, maybe it could be a 0, right? Brandon Ayuk. I mean, some people are saying he'll be ready week 1. Pretty much the trade deadline for him is like this week. I don't think he's going to be traded. Some people are saying he won't be ready for a long time. I mean, this is absurd, guys. The Najee Harris folks can get. I hope every single one of my rooms has someone who drafts Najee Harris at pick 61. and climbing. Terrible, terrible click, by the way. Yeah, I mean, we're just going to scoop the value. Najee Harris going straight up over Joe Mixon is insane. I mean, we'll share this with the Twitter world. Not even Najee Harris's like mother loves him this much. Pick 61, terrible. Yeah, this is a very Najee goes even higher on DK. I mean, you can almost copy and paste bad picks going higher on DraftKings, but sneakily, Najee is actually a little bit better of a pick on DraftKings because, something that sticks out to me about J.K. Dobbins last year was just the sheer amount of targets Herbert had to throw to him. Only 32 catches. I mean, not terrible. James Conner, 47. But I could see Najee around like 50 catches in a dream year. I mean, this is not a logical point. Someone made the point of how terrible Ayuk looked coming back from the hold-in to say he may not come back in top shape. Well, he probably didn't look great after the hold-in because he wasn't practicing with the team. And quarterbacks usually don't just throw to guys who do the hold-in, and coaches typically don't scheme that up. I think it's very clear Ayuk would have smashed if healthy down the stretch. He didn't. Like, this seems just like wish casting, like, oh, I can't believe he wore black when he was supposed to wear red or whatever that drama was. I mean, this is like, guys, what are we doing here? This is the equivalent of someone who reads horoscopes and like judges their dating life off of it. Like, oh, you're a Gemini. I can't date you. Oh, you are holding your head down during the contract talks. I can't draft you. Right? Like, come on now. Whatever, guys. Draft who you want, but don't pretend that you're like gleaning something from some ESPN Sports Center clip. Uh-oh, guys. We got the I played sports. We got the I played sports guy. Look, brother, I played sports too. I don't know. I'm just poking fun here, but I think there's plenty of reasons to be very worried about Ayuk this year, and it only has to do with the fact he had double ligament injuries. Really, that's it. I mean, clearly have to go Shakir here to pair with Josh. Khalil Shakir, basically the Bills' version of Rashee Rice. That's the hope. Not as good. James Cook extension. The Bills have extended nearly everyone. Lunch table legend, an appropriate name for this conversation, but hard to say there. I'm really happy I got my Travis Hunter bags packed in the 9th and 10th, because it's just been harder to get them. And this is starting to get to the range where you're like, ugh. Okay. But yeah, with Cook, I mean, I think he deserves an extension. He seemed really good. Let's do this. Why not? You used to have to pay a first and second round pick to do this. So you absolutely, if you're volume drafting and you don't build any Allen Mahomes teams, come on now. Mahomes to Rice, Allen to Shakir, palatable prices. We're starting the quarterback run. Let's get it. You know, I've not seen that story. If there is a job doing this, though, I would like to do it. Sure. DK actually has Hunter with a higher ADP. Good morning, Angelina. Hey, it's morning somewhere. 12:55 here. Downs is like the lone wide receiver that regularly goes in round 8. He's an exciting guy. He offers spike weeks. At the same time, I get it when it's like, is he really all that different than Darnell Mooney, Rashid Shaheed, Marvin Mims? Probably not. Hey, nice. I mean, I don't I don't think I don't think what was holding them back was just like 3 years of trying to process his system. They probably just didn't have the players to operate it. I could buy the Bears being bad, but I don't really think it's going to be Ben Johnson's fault, the scheme's fault. It would probably take bad signings, Caleb Williams, like not being a professional, things like this. Downs feels like expensive Wandale. Yeah, that's just like very far from the truth. He wins down the field. So I mean, in the sense that he plays slot, okay. Correlating top division teams from the same conference sounds like a decent upside shot at week 17 correlation. So what he's meaning is I have the Bills, I have the Texans, I have the Lions. All these teams win their division. The division winners usually play each other, especially within the same conference. So in this case, the Texans, Bills, Chiefs. Yeah, not something that I do purposefully a lot, because I think just stacking divisions is like a way easier chance of this, but hey, it's possible. You would think, though, that, wow, never seen Caleb fall this far. What do we need here? Let's do Mims. You would think, though, that like if Bills are playing the Chiefs, are they really going to save that for week 17? Probably not, right? They're going to want that game to be in like October or the season opener or whatever. I mean, this is just like fun, right? Like we got to get Gene on the Bears for fun's sakes. If he's a Bear, I could see him getting in the group with Gibbs, Bijan, Saquon. If he's a Cowboy, similar. If he's a Raider, I'm like, okay, fine. He's a Raider. Raiders are fine, I guess. Now that they got Geno. All right. You know what? Never mind. We're gonna do Hollywood. Pacheco's fine. I think the Hollywood and Rice stack is quite good, where it's like, at least I'm getting Hollywood to begin. Maybe he's carrying me towards Rice. What does this mean? Is this the David Kitchen? Shout out the Swolecast. You guys rating me? Is that a thing on YouTube? When I had COVID, I was scrolling Instagram and saw a really hype tape about Cam Scatabo, so it makes me more into him, not gonna lie. Some people think grinding hype tapes doesn't count. It counts. It's hard for me to get excited about Pittman. The price is nice. I'll say that. But I mean, back injuries, quarterbacks are Daniel Jones or Richardson. It's like, what are, that's not that exciting to me. Downs might just be a better wide receiver than him. Probably is. So this is very key. You draft a guy a lot, you got to watch his hype tapes. So you also used to have to pay first and second round picks to do this. Andrews and Kelsey. Seems like Andrews is less likely to be cut / traded. So that's nice. Dallas Goedert, I would say, is going the other way. This team so far, Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, QB1 and 2. Joe Mixon, Puka Nacua, Nico Collins, Jameson Williams, Rashee Rice, Khalil Shakir, Marvin Mims, Hollywood Brown. Keenan, I would put Keenan in the same camp as J.K. Dobbins, where I don't think it's time to panic that he hasn't signed yet. Yeah, Jaden Higgins used to be very free. Let's do Kincaid to stack with Josh. Coach LaFleur for the Packers said, I wouldn't rule out tight end being our number one pass catcher. So seems good for Tucker Kraft. Didn't exactly say that, but, basically. Wow. Double Carolina. And I'm pretty sure, like, straight up going Coker and Adam Thielen over Leggett. How are we feeling about that, guys? Coker and Thielen straight up over Leggett. That's a no for me. I will simply side with the draft capital. Future Chief J.K. Dobbins. Let's get it. We started today randomly talking about J.K. Dobbins. You got to draft him. I mean, I'm excited to see this draft because at this point, I mean, I feel like I've heard the bull case for everyone. And now, like it's been so long that not only have we heard Omario Hampton RB1 straight up over Gene T, then we heard Omario Hampton first round pick. And now some guys are saying Omario Hampton runs too straight, too upright. He's good, not great, not a first round pick to me. That's just an example. Or Jaden Higgins, some people are like true X, awesome, rare skill set. And now some people are like, doesn't run routes good, bad. So I don't know. I'm just excited to get some official data of where these guys go. I mean, to me, the clear bet is Xavier Leggett, just in the sense that was a first round pick. I think he should be viewed somewhat similarly to Keon Coleman, who went like a pick after him. Could Thielen continue to be awesome? Yeah, he could continue to be awesome. Obviously, that's a risk. Coker could go to 0, could be awesome, had some good underlying data. I mean, I currently have Dart ranked ahead of Shadur is another example where we've heard Shadur 102, we've heard Shadur 103, we've heard Shadur 5th round pick. If you're a fan of an NFL team, state that team and who you want them to take / what position you want them to take. So for me, an example would be like Bills and D tackle. Or you could say Giants and quarterback or whatever. Just want to get the vibe of the chat. Panthers and Tet. This is a somewhat popular mock. It would very confuse things. I also see Panthers trading up for Abdul Carter. I see that sometimes. I'm trading up to 2. I also see them. Tet is like, some people are like, Tet is wide receiver 1. Tet is wide receiver 8. It's crazy. Bears, Gene T. Yeah, that's what I'd be rooting for, that just because it's like whatever, Cowboys. I don't think you're going to get it, man. Gene T or Hunter. Chiefs tackle. Yeah, I mean, like the Bills, the Chiefs, it's like you got to say some lame position like, oh, I want a D tackle. It's like, sure you do, dude. Of course, we always want wide receivers or whatever, Texans and Golden? I don't know, man. Opinions are all over the place for Golden. Giants, Travis Hunter, Pats Hunter. Yeah, my friend who's or my cousin who's a really big Pats fan, he wants Travis Hunter. He's like, I want my kids to be, rooting for a generational player, which I get. I don't think the Pats are getting Hunter. I think it's a no-brainer for them if he's there, but I think the Giants are going to take him. Yeah, I mean, the Panthers defense is like really bad. Chief, I had COVID. I don't exactly look when other. Should I just take Bryce Young from this dude? No, I'm kidding. I don't exactly look when other people are going live. I just rip it. Sometimes you go up against your friends. So maybe it was 150 IQ. And also, when I won Best Ball Mania 2, I started the trend of shouting out the Soulcast. They were the only ones I shouted out. We can probably find that. I'll look off stream. Searching my name in Soulcast is just like craziness. I don't know I don't know what I was expecting to show up, but yeah, we're not finding it. Should we take Javonte? I don't really want to, but why not? This is like roughly where I have him ranked. You know who J.K. Dobbins should sign with? He should sign with the Cowboys, man. I don't know. It seems more reasonable than pick 160. Is that what they did? I got to check it out. Did they stream my stream? Can you even do that? I'm sure Davis is on somewhere. We can try it. Why would you get hate for taking Matt Stafford? I don't get that. Really, anyone in the draft that's not the Browns should be rooting for the Browns to take Shedeur just to push down talent. Something that's also very popular to say every single year is that this picks 30 to 90 are loaded, but there's only 15 first-round picks in this class. People say that every year. I mean, like, Ladd McConkey, where would he go if the draft happened again today? Probably middle of the first at least. I don't know how I'm feeling about the team. We're done at quarterback. The running back room feels questionable. The wide receiver room feels pretty good, but needs some other guys. Probably going 3 tight ends with Kincaid. You wanted Javonte? He's way past his ADP, man. Appreciate you, William. Got to get weird, man. Yeah, Stafford's been pretty terrible for fantasy, but I could see this being a weird year where he goes off. I don't know. I'm skeptical of it, but you could see it, right? This year where he had 41 touchdowns, I don't think we're getting that. but I could see 30. I did talk about James Cook. Like, I don't think it's that likely he gets a big extension, but I think he deserves one. I think he'll get the extension, honestly. I don't think the Bills are like drafting Mario Hampton or whatever. Dude, if I get those 275 yards week 17, January 3rd, 2022, you found it? Rod, link it in the comments. I knew someone would find it. Kyron is a guy who I kind of want to survive the draft. Like, I'll be very into him if he survives the draft. But you could see him not surviving the draft. Yeah, Cole Kmet feels pretty good here. Rod, post the Twitter link in YouTube. Kmet, he probably needs to survive the draft a little bit too. You know, like Loveland or someone going there in the first or second would be killer. The thing about Pat Freiermuth is he has like negative juice. And you see him as a value because he scored 7 touchdowns last year. And he has no yak. And if instead he scores like 3 touchdowns, you're going to be like, okay, what's the difference? And that's pretty much, wow, we just got a Trey Tucker. Wow, I'm speechless by that. Hell yeah, man. Let's go Braylon Allen. Just because we need some running backs. Same division as the Bills. Breece Hall, negativity. Good news for Braylon Allen. Yeah, I mean, look, Freiermuth is fine, but he's no different than he's really no different than most of these guys, right? Like Cole Kmet, Pat Freiermuth, you're going to be happier with whoever scores more touchdowns. Can I say with a great degree of confidence who that is? No. Cole Kmet, K. Dot, and Pat Freiermuth, they're very similar bets. Here's what Conklin did with Rodgers. 72 catches or 72 targets, 51 catches, 450 yards, 4 touchdowns. Maybe you juice that up to like 550 and 5. I just remember Pat Freiermuth catching the ball and getting tackled for negative yak. Like, he is close to Zach Ertz watch. Yeah, I think he becomes a better click too. The Jets RB3 kind of. Because he could be the Jets RB2. Mike Williams going as a 17th round pick. Why not? I will be back with Davis tomorrow. Chig Okonkwo, he could outproduce all those tight ends. Absolutely. Man's done grinding RuneScape. Although RuneScape released some new games, so maybe he's on that now. Hopkins. I've not drafted him much since he's a Raven, but I used to draft him all the time. When did you start playing best ball? The year of Best Ball Mania 1. I didn't actually play on Underdog that year. I think the Jets signed Stone Smart. Yeah, they did. Not that. I mean, like they're going to draft like Warren or someone. What are we doing here? We're not going another Texan. Let's do this Jack Beck character. Opinions all over the place on him. That, this is a rare team that I think Goddard getting traded to does make sense. As someone who's been drafting a lot of Goddard, I'd prefer he goes to the Rams. The Patriots could trade for Goddard too. They could do some weird 2 tight end stuff with Henry and him. Other than that, there's not a ton of teams that you think of when you think of who would trade for Dallas Goddard. I would say the Cowboys, but interdivision. I would say the Commanders, but interdivision. The Falcons. We got here 3 picks left. I think I might just go thin and cap it at 2 tight end. I don't know. It's a hard call here. I guess we'll take Harold Fannin. Why not? And we'll just slam the last 2 picks into running back. I mean, that'd be interesting. I don't know what we would do in fantasy if Goddard got traded to the Chiefs. Freiermuth won't hurt you. Look, man, we're not trying to take guys who don't hurt us. Right? Like, we're trying to take guys that hurt the league, hurt your opponents. He's a 15th round pick. Sure, he's not going to hurt you. Seahawks? They low-key could trade for Goddard. Do I think Elijah Mitchell could be a sleeper for Kansas City? Yeah, it's very murky there, and it's someone's probably a value, and they might not even be on the team yet. So the answer is maybe, but I don't know. It's not a bet I'm making a lot right now. Who do you think will be the top 3 running backs this season? Great question, big boy. Let's go with Gibbs, Saquon, and Achane. I don't know. They're all very similar bets. Except for Derrick Henry would have to get there strictly off touchdowns. That's not a similar bet. Have I been drafting any Ty Johnson? Not that much. Something to look into is when you wonder if a team is going to draft a running back or not, look into how many picks they have. So one example is the Vikings. I was always like, I don't think the Vikings are drafting a running back. They have 4 picks. They traded for one, so they kind of did draft one, but not exactly. The Bills have 10 picks. The Browns have 10 or 11 picks. These are teams that don't you think they're going to just throw a 5th round pick at a running back? So I don't know. If Ty Johnson survives the draft without a running back, being drafted by the Bills, absolutely nothing will change. He'll still be a 19th round pick. Like, he can't go up in value. My recommendation to you would be to draft some guys who maybe can go up in value. Yeah, that's the thing. You could pair Pacheco and Mitchell and end up drafting 2 zeros. People were doing this last year with Pacheco and CEH, right? Who remembers the great CEH wars? Me and like Leone were having. CEH on the Saints. So, hey. It certainly was not. Who was that guy we drafted for like a month last year on the Chiefs? He got cut and he ended up being a Dolphin. Deneric Prince. That's who it was. Man, the amount of guys I have like that just jostling up in the head. No, not Steele. I was very anti-CEH, and other people thought he was a reasonable bet. No, dog. Prince was last year. Not to me, man. All right. You know what? Andre Yoshivas he's just like gonna contribute points this year. We're taking another wide receiver. We're going thinner at running back. Do I feel great about a running back room of Joe Mixon, J.K. Dobbins, Devin Neal, Javonte, and Braylon Allen? No, far from it. But you assume Joe Mixon's getting there most weeks. Yeah, it's pretty thin. I'm not going to lie. I would change the Fannin pick to a running back if I had known I was going to go Yoshivas. You know, Rod, I don't think it shows me when other people post links. So, sorry. Ford survives draft and he's a steal. I think Jerome Ford's a good bet regardless, but he's very unlikely to survive the draft because the Browns have like 10 or 11 draft picks. Scott Barrett was convinced Justin Ross was like the skeleton key that year. Good times. He was a reasonable bet, obviously. You know what? Audric Estime plays in the division with the Chiefs. Best I got there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, off the COVID, we're going to cap it at 1 stream today. Usually go 2. We'll be back tomorrow with Davis, though. So I'll see you then. Peace out. Like, subscribe, join the Discord, links below. Check out beatbestball.com.